Hey guys, what's up? Scythe here. A little video about the new Star Wars: The Old Republic expansion. I have some a few thoughts on it. Start off, haven't made any videos lately. Just kind of been taking a break, and also the few times I have been logging in, I've been just getting screwed. Haven't played with any pre-mades lately, and I've been just getting railed by Marauders, Vanguards, Sentinels. It's just been ridiculous. No pug groups are working out for me. So this game plays just kind of average, a lot of deaths, just because I just have people just tunnel visioning me. Um, and it really feels like the balance is even worse now that everybody's in the same gear. The gear gap is less. The bad players are just getting ridiculous, I would say, with this gear, and these OP classes are shining even more. Um, but to get back to what I was wanting to talk about was Rise of the Hutt Cartel, the expansion. And the first thing, I know a lot of you have already pre-ordered this to save the money because if you don't pre-order before January 7th, you have to pay 19 bucks instead of 9. Um, Pretty much, I think this expansion is a complete rip-off. I, from what I'm seeing now, I won't be buying it. There's just not enough information, not enough details, and I've been burned by this company a few times, getting all hyped up on something that doesn't deliver at all. And of course, this is just my opinion about it. I'm sure you're gonna leave me a comment saying I'm completely wrong. Um, but basically, from what I'm seeing, I keep pretty tight, track on developer posts, tweets, them answering questions on the forums, and kind of put two and two together, and a lot of comments that these developers have made. And one thing was, it says that you're getting 5 new levels and story-driven content. Everybody's thinking this is adding on to your class story, but the developers did confirm that it does not. Basically, what the 5 levels of story-driven content is a main quest line that every single person that plays the game will be playing. It's not unique to just your character or just your class. It's going to be a series about the rise of the Hutt Cartel. So it's basically like a after that series after you finish a planet, the bonus series, I guess is what you call it. So that has been confirmed. If you want to go look that up, it's on the forums. There's a question right there with a developer post talking about this. So if you're thinking, a lot of people thought they were getting extension to their class story with this expansion, and they're not. One new ability per class. I mean, this could be great because the ability could be what each class really needs, and it could balance out PvP slash PvE. Um, but I'm really having a hard time seeing that happen because they're so hesitant to balance even power techs and marauders now that new abilities are probably just going to screw things up even worse. And I could be just being super negative about this, but I'm tired of believing the hype and then getting burned. I would rather be completely negative and not believe anything than to be burnt. And that's just how I am. You guys probably already bought the expansion and all ready for it and excited. Um, the other thing is the new planet. Another thing I don't like is I feel like an expansion. This is kind of my definition of expansion. Probably 3 planets, 5 to 10 levels, 4 to 6 new heroic flashpoints, a new PvP map, maybe some leaderboard rankings, something along those lines with PvP. And I would pay, 29 bucks, 30 bucks. But it kind of seems like this is like a quarter of expansion and they're charging us $9, then going to charge 20 bucks for people that aren't subscribers or don't pre-order, which is complete ripoff. If it's $9 worth of content, it should be $9 all the time. It shouldn't be 20 bucks if you don't pre-order. Um, and you're thinking, 20 bucks, that's not that much money. It's not really about the money, it's more about the principle of what they're nickeling and diming us. The other thing is, this has been going on for months with this new planet and these new levels. They had considered for a long time just giving this to us as subscribers. That was the plan. This expansion was supposed to be just a subscriber update. It's before really the game went south and went free to play. and now they're wanting to charge us for it to get more money out of us. Um, so just keep that in mind when you're, purchasing it, or that this was originally intended to be a subscriber update. And then this brings me back around to another point. What are we paying for our monthly fee now? Are we just paying for server maintenance and, Hutt Cartel tokens? I mean, are we going to stop getting, updates, and we're just going to get these $9 expansions? I mean, it seems a little ridiculous that this went from a um, you know subscriber update to a, now they're calling it a expansion, which it's not really expansion, it's a quarter of expansion. And my standards for expansion may be different than other people what they see, but I'm just comparing it to other games that are in the same market as them, and it's not an expansion. um, but I'm being kind of negative about this, but until they release any more information, there's no way that I would buy it. Um, I mean, they haven't even talked about if there's going to be PvP improvements or anything other than that. And the other thing, that there's also a post, the developers were talking about, people are asking about gear, level 55 gear. Basically, at the start of the expansion, they've confirmed that there is no level 55 gear. You're going to be in the same gear you are in now, because the problem is they would have to go back and redo all the flashpoints in order to upgrade the item levels of the gear to make it match 55 instead of 50. So I don't know if this is, they're going to change their mind, and, you know, it may be ready at level 55 when the expansion comes out, all the flashpoints redone. But as of now, they confirmed on the forums that it won't be changing the gear item level. So what's the difference between a level 55 and 50? Um, yeah, that's what I want to know. Maybe one ability that you get at 55. So I don't know if this is a process, that they're going to be doing over, 6 months, redoing all the flashpoints, and we're going to have to wait for updates. This is all speculation, of course, but I'm just telling you what I've that's confirmed on the forums that developers have posted. But all this could have changed, and before the expansion comes out, and this video could be completely irrelevant because they've changed their mind. Um, but there was a huge backlash on the day that this expansion was announced. I don't know if a lot of y'all are frequently forum visitors, but on the forums blew up for about probably 6 to 7 hours of people just really upset about having to pay for this and not included in their sub fee. And a lot of those people could be just tightwads and not wanting to pay basically. Um, but some people do have a valid point that this is not a full expansion. And basically, the people that spoke out against this, a lot of their accounts were actually banned. I have talked to 2 or 3 people that were either post deleted, and I have one friend that was banned from just bringing up a discussion about, a poll deciding if it should be free or should be a subscriber benefits. And I'm sure they weren't the only ones that happened to. Um, so, I basically they cleaned up the forums, they got rid of all the negative press, and now they're just going on as business as normal. And that seems like kind of the ideal and the mindset of BioWare. Uh, promise a bunch of stuff, then change their mind about it, and then release half-done content. But yeah, like I said, I'm being completely negative about this, but it's like people have gotten so, I guess fanboy is kind of not a good word to put it, but that's kind of what it feels like towards BioWare, and they just believe all their promises, and then when it doesn't work out, they say, "Oh, it's okay because of this." And I'm just kind of tired of it. I'm tired of weighing through the bull crap of what these developers say. Now if they say something like that, that's what we're getting. If they say we're only getting 5 levels and that's what we're getting. If they don't mention PvP content, we're not getting PvP content. Um, but let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think this is just a nickel and dime that we were intended to get this as subscribers, but now they've changed their mind? Do you rule this as an expansion? This little of content, I mean, I'm reading it right now, and there's like a paragraph of stuff, information about this expansion. I mean, with the information I'm going off here, it's definitely not an expansion. But I mean, it could change. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. You know, have you already bought it? Are you planning on buying it? You know, do you think it's an expansion? Um, and you know, more videos coming out soon. I know I'm slacking a little bit. The gameplay it's just kind of got me. You know, it's rough right now if you're not in a pre-made with, you know, Marauders and Power Techs. So more stuff coming out soon. And I will talk to you guys later.